To our next speaker, Dale Seymour is Senior VP at the Global Carbon Capture and Storage Institute. We're proud to partner with the Institute, and what I think we saw there was the commitment of the Australian government to fully recognise that without strong leadership from the government that was going to have a role globally, you weren't going to get the progress that was required on carbon capture and storage. So the commitment of the Australian government is very significant in establishing the Institute and also really now a global network of partners who are all committed to delivering CCS. Dale, over to you.
It's a great pleasure to address you for 2 minutes. I will stick to that, Steve. So thanks, Steve, and the Climate Group very much for today. 4 key messages from the Global CCS Institute. We believe in a low-carbon future. Our chairman of our International Advisory Panel, Jim Wolfenson, and one of our illustrious members, Lord Stern, are promoting that message on our behalf around the globe. We believe in a low-carbon future. We also believe that climate, energy and economic security are codependent. Success comes from recognising that dependency. The IEA says that 20% of the reductions in greenhouse gases by 2050 will come from CCS. CCS matters. In fact, it's the most important thing on our agenda in the Institute. And as Steve said, we're about international collaboration and seeking commitments. In that regard, we're very proud of the fact that we now have as legal members governments of the world that account for 82% of CO2 emissions, including the governments of the United States and China. The Climate Group and the Institute, as Steve said, have worked collaboratively over the last few months to work out some solutions to the financing of these large-scale demonstrations. And this afternoon we'll be talking about the Mobilising Private Sector Finance report, which we're very pleased to have funded. And the Climate Group has done an excellent job with EcoFin on this report. And it cites the 5 key drivers that need to be resolved, including debt, equity, and the risk allocation between government and the private sector. And to finish, my daughter texted me overnight and said, "I know you're speaking tomorrow, Dad, so remind the audience that Mother Earth expects better of us and that CCS matters in that regard." Now, I took this to mean that we should all collectively find some grace and be selfless in our actions to reduce our CO2 emissions around the world and to make our contribution to a better world. And the green revolution that is spoken about with such passion is the paradigm shift that I think we need to get into right now. It does require the international consensus, it does require international leadership. The Australian government put its money on the table to build our institute and to fund our creation. And governments, industry and the community must come together in a tripartite compact and recognise that the real compact that we all have is with Mother Earth. And it cannot be taken for granted, and the time is now to move to a more secure future based on climate energy security through innovation and creativity. And that's our task and that's our objective, and we're very pleased to make our contribution to those outcomes. Thank you.